Hello, everyone. This is the Insert Title Show, and I am your host, Wolf Strife. On this episode, I am going to be talking about Battlefield 1 a year later. And on this episode, I have a special guest, oompy.
Hey everyone.
Basically, I just wanted to do this episode to talk about Battlefield 1 a year later. Just to, give you our thoughts about how the game's holding up after all this time and just talk about if we still like the game, if it's still good, if it's still worth playing, and basically give you our thoughts on the DLC and stuff like that.
So basically what we're doing here is evaluating whether or not we still like the game, whether or not it's held up past the past year and whatnot. So let's get to it.
Yeah.
Wolf, where do you want to begin with this?
So basically, I think the game is still, it's still playable. I mean, I wouldn't mind trying out Verdun one of these days, but as far as multiplayer first-person shooter shit goes, I think Battlefield 1 is still doing good. The campaign in the game was pretty good, but I don't think anybody's even really played it. Like, if you look at the achievement percentages on Xbox Live, I think like 20% of the people who've played the game have actually gone through the campaign. And I don't even think you went through it all, did you?
Honestly, I did not. But however, Battlefield is the multiplayer game, and that it always has been. It was never really about a campaign,
Well, Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Well, that's kind of...
That's it, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look back into the PC versions of Battlefield and whatnot, it was always multiplayer.
Yeah. How would you rate Battlefield 1? Like, I mean, the campaign was good, but not too many people played it. The multiplayer, I think, is really good, but you kind of always were like, with it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't like the balancing of the weapons and whatnot. It doesn't play like you would expect a Battlefield game to play, in my opinion. Especially sniping and, holding out and whatnot. That combined with the more or less unrealistic weaponry and the automatic this and, semi-automatic that, it doesn't really work out for me.
Yeah, there were, I think, way too many semi-automatic guns and automatic guns in the game, but, it's not the most realistic game out there, let's just say that, but it's a fun game, and it's, bright and shiny.
Yeah, they definitely cut the corners in the realism department to keep the game entertaining, and I understand that more than anyone else, but...
I realized that the other night when I was trying to chase down this, what's the German tank called? Like a A7V or whatever? I'm like having to run after this thing and it's going like 2 times faster than me, when in real life that thing had a maximum speed of like 4 miles per hour on flat, even ground. So yeah, they definitely kind of fucked around with that.
I mean, real World War I warfare would be mostly in the trenches, firing back and forth when you can, But then again,
how fun would that be?
Exactly. I mean, unless you're a history buff who loves, shooting back and forth from a fucking hole in the ground.
Well, you're a pilot, so what was your opinion on the flying?
Honestly, the flying kind of dropped off after Battlefield 3 for me. Battlefield 4 was not that great, and then coming into Battlefield 1, they kind of picked back up on it. I love the idea of 2-seater aircraft and more, because that's something I've always wanted to do, is have someone in the back, covering my ass. But
yeah, that always reminded me of that part in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah. But flying, dogfighting, it really isn't too much, to talk about, in my opinion. But it's fun. It's fun when you get the airships up in the air and you're trying to take them out and whatnot, and shit's all going around and whatnot. But
yeah,
you're good.
Yeah, the flying was but on the ground, the infantry stuff was kind of fun. Tanks were pretty good. The only problem I had with them was they just do not give you a lot of them. I'm used to, Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3, every time I die, I just spawn, grab a tank, go. But with this one, you have to wait a long time for a tank. But I guess that's realistic because, there weren't that many tanks on the battlefield. Not yet, anyway. But, it's still kind of annoying. But, yeah, sniping is kind of fun. Assault is kind of crazy. Running around as a medic is actually pretty useful and pretty good. And support class, it's...
I love how... I do like how they've done the balancing within the assault class versus the medic. And how the loadouts go, but...
the guns in the game are pretty good. Like the sniper rifles are all classic guns. The pistols are pretty fucking cool. The melee weapons are really fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like I actually I own technically 3 World War One era knives. I have a new one coming through the mail from Atlanta Cutlery Corp, and I'll do an episode on that one when it gets here. But having these weapons in real life and then seeing them in the video game is pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, I remember having the SOG Seal Pup come in on Battlefield 4.
Oh, yeah.
I was freaking out about that.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking cool.
It's always cool to see something that you have in real life, come into a video game and be like, yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing this.
And the kills with the, the animations for the kills with the melee weapons are pretty fucking brutal.
Oh, yeah. They definitely, that's one thing I do like about Battlefield 1 is that it's a whole lot more gritty.
Oh, yeah.
Than
well, when you spawn, you're just running around, your weapon's nice and clean, but as soon as you hit the deck in mud, that shit gets all over you, all over your guns. It looks great.
What really would have been great is if they would actually incorporate, jamming and malfunctions into the game.
Oh, yeah.
And where if you dove down in the mud, your gun wouldn't friggin' shoot until
Yeah.
But,
what game had that? Was that one of the Fallouts, I think? Fallout 3?
Honestly,
if you didn't repair it after a while or something?
Yeah. It would start jamming and whatnot.
Uh-huh. And then, you have a Deathclaw coming face to face with you and your gun's jamming.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Time to break out a sledgehammer.
Right.
What else? Yeah, I think the game still holds up. The DLC definitely gives it replayability value. The first DLC was the They Shall Not Pass DLC pack. That was amazing. The levels on there are, well, the maps, I should say. The maps on there are so much better than the regular generic maps that came with the game. They're just more World War One, and they're just more fun. Like Fort Vaux is awesome. That's kind of, it's basically close quarters combat, but I guess you could kind of say it's Battlefield 1's version of Metro. It's this crazy shit.
I wouldn't take it that far because Metro was a fucking killing field that was perfectly balanced on both sides to where if you had 2 good teams, you're locked in.
Yeah, basically you're going east
hour.
and west, one side to the other.
Yeah. It was a lot more running around.
Yeah, Fort Vaux is just kind of a free-for-all. We'll meet up around B or somewhere and just kill the enemy.
Yep.
The other maps on there, what was that one, Sassal or whatever? That one was the best tank map in the entire game. Holy shit. Remember that's the one where we get the, the Char 21 or whatever the hell?
Well, the only reason why that worked the way it did is because of the geography of the map.
Uh-huh.
You actually, because the hill, you actually had a level playing field as an infantry soldier trying to fight a tank that's sitting down in the valley down there,
Yeah.
It just was balanced, and that's what I like about
it. Yeah. And the other ones were pretty good too. They actually added some they had the Verdun Heights, which was really cool. That was a good infantry map. Good for sniping, good for running around, gunning guys down, and it looks really cool. It definitely reminded me and Oompy of Hamburger Hill from Battlefield Bad Company 2,
I still
Vietnam's
wish those-
DLC map pack or whatever for that one. So that was pretty cool. And then they added some new ones to the game, like remember that one in the village at nighttime, and then there was a really cool like trench warfare one at night. That was really cool.
I still wish the damn F4s were hanging around though.
And I guess the Russian one just came out. What the hell is that one? And the name of the Tsar.
That's my favorite DLC so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mainly because of the weapons that got added, and then the maps. I mean, God,
There was a variety. Like there was
Yeah,
that
it
kind of fighting in that Russian city kind of one, like with the cathedral and stuff.
yep,
And then there's
Cathedral,
the big open one. I think that's Galicia or whatever.
and then what was it? Wasn't there a night one?
Oh, there was
Okay.
there was a naval one where you had the big naval
Oh.
guns and shit. Remember that one? That was a good one. I think that was Albion or whatever.
Albion, yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool one. And a lot of the new features they give you were pretty cool, like having a Lancer cavalry unit. That was a lot of fun. I got really good at impaling guys on my Lance. Well, there was an achievement for that one. You had to get like 20 kills or 25 kills with a Lance. So that was kind of cool. Got really good at that.
The other map, the Borislav Keep, the one with the giant church tower in the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the most beautiful sniping ground that I've ever seen.
Oh yeah. Well, that was a cool one too because that one actually took place not in World War One, but during the Russian Revolution or the Russian Civil War. Exactly. It was the whites versus the reds. So that was kind of
Right.
cool. Definitely something we have not seen in a video game before. So yeah.
Well, I mean, overall, I love the take that EA and DICE did on the war. You know, they kind of captured the feel of, you know, we're gonna die. It doesn't really matter when.
Well, that was
It
like the
sucks.
first level in the campaign where you just kept dying and coming back as a different guy, you know? That was definitely kind of the theme of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they really captured that, you know, the despair and the, you know, the
We're all gonna die.
kind of deal out of World War One, but at the same time, you know, had those epic battlefield moments that, you know, we all know and love.
Yeah, they had to spruce it up, I mean. And they did do a good job with the history. Like they had Indy Nidell from the Great War Channel write a lot of the codexes, or whatever the hell the word is, codex plural, oompy. And so that was really cool having him come in and work on the game. So yeah, I think the game's still holding up pretty well, and I'm curious to see how I guess there's going to be 2 more DLCs coming out. There's going to be like a amphibious one that looks like it's going to be maybe Anzac troops, you know, basically Australia and New Zealand. And then any idea what the last DLC is going to be?
No idea as of yet. Battlefield 1.
Yeah, I guess we could actually look into it.
Yeah, let me check real quick. Turning Tides, July. Turning Tides and Battlefield 1 Apocalypse.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
So yeah,
It's-
Turning Tides is going to be, I think, Anzacs and a lot of amphibious shit, maybe like Gallipoli or something.
Yeah, they said Battlefield 1 Apocalypse, go over the top in the most infamous battles of World War One, conquer bitterly contested ground with brutal tools and unique weaponry.
That's going to be awesome. I bet you that's going to be probably the Somme, Verdun again, maybe the Kaiserschlacht. Yeah,
Well, the
that could be
concept
cool.
art is a gas mask with a cracked lens
Oh shit!
with the reflection within it, showing a burning landscape. So
Nice. Sounds like some Metro 2033 shit.
yeah, it doesn't look fun. Well, I mean, it does look fun. It just doesn't look.
Real life fun.
Yeah, real life fun. Let's say that.
Yeah. So any idea when that's coming out? That'll probably be like
Uh,
March or
they
something.
they said early 2018, which
Yeah.
first quarter. So yeah, somewhere around maybe April, March.
Yeah. And Battlefield 1 was actually the first Battlefield game that I got the premium for, so it's kind of a new experience for me doing this. But yeah, I think Battlefield 1 is really good. I still think Battlefield Bad Company 2 overall is my favorite one, but as far as multiplayer goes, I would go with Battlefield 3, but Battlefield 1 is definitely right up there. I mean, it's a really good game, and I'm still playing it and still, kind of having fun on it. So if you haven't played it yet, I would definitely recommend that you check it out. Like our friend Big Daddy hasn't played it yet, but whenever he gets an Xbox, we're definitely going to get him on here. So, if you're curious, definitely check it out. I think it's still playable and still pretty fun. And you will definitely not have trouble finding people to play with. So I think you should check it
Absolutely.
out.
I think you should check it out too.